Okay, so in this video, we're going to be going over how to assist during a crown prep. Now, a lot of the things you're going to see during this video would apply also to fillings, some of the basic principles, but this one's specifically with a crown. So here we are, the patient's already been numb, we've already taken the pre-op photograph, got a preliminary impression, and now we are ready to begin the actual work on the patient. So I put in the dry angle, and now I'm going in with a high-speed mirror. If you notice, the assistant is going in. She's going to have two things in her hands. She's going to have the high-speed suction in one hand and the air water in the other. Since I'm cleaning out this tooth, it's an upper tooth, I have to look in the mirror to see what's going on. And so she is going to be blowing off the mirror so I can see what's going on. And then the suction, if you notice, she's just kind of staying put in one place. She's making sure that tip is enough to, the tip is in the spot of the mouth, it's going to be enough to get out all the liquid that's accumulating, but not in so far deep that it causes the patient to gag. If you notice, I'm just kind of working along, and there's just not a whole lot of movement. It's just very calm to have it like that. So now after I've kind of drilled for a little bit, I'm going to take a look and wash it out. This moment, actually, she's going in for that brief second. She was able to clean out any debris that was back there. I'm now going to be switching up to, I believe it's going to be a slow speed. Yeah, this is a slow speed handpiece, and this does not have any water coming out of it. So right now I'm kind of drilling dry, so to speak. So she doesn't have to worry so much about the suction. Maybe she'll pick up a couple pieces of debris that are being produced from this handpiece, but she's really just keeping the mirror from fogging, also keeping the mirror free from debris that might be falling onto it. And so just going through this process of just cleaning out the tooth. Okay, so now we're going to be wrapping up the actual cleaning up of this tooth. I've just kind of washed it with the air water, taking a look now with an instrument, just making sure we're ready for the next step, which is going to be taking a photograph. We're going to take a photograph of this before we place the buildup. You'll notice it's going to take all four hands to get a good photograph. The assistant has a small mirror. It's going to retract the cheek. Also, she's going to have the air water in her hand. I'm coming in with the big camera and a big mirror. She's going to keep the fog from accumulating on the mirror and keeping the air water tip, of course, out of the sight of the camera, but keeping that sight nice and clean and dry and from fogging up so we can get a very nice photograph. Okay, so now we're going to begin the steps of placing the buildup. So we're going to place a ring matrix, we call it an orange matrix, on this tooth. Just kind of, it's a big belt or big ring that goes around the tooth, so it kind of holds our packing material or filling material when we put it in. So we're putting that in right now, and I'll just be tightening it into position. And then she's going to be standing there with the instruments just in case I need to do some shaping. And in this case, I didn't need them. I'm going to check to make sure, yep, we have a good seal. So now she has the blue etch ready. She hands it right to me. I'm able to go in and put the etch inside the tooth. Meanwhile, she's just making sure the instruments are ready to go behind the scenes, making sure the plugger and the cord placer are free of any debris. She's dropping off now a couple drops of our disinfectant desensitizer. I'm now going in and going to rinse that blue etch off the teeth. She's there to catch it with the suction. And we're going to just kind of wash out the whole mouth and just make sure we're free of all kinds of debris. Now that that phase is done, we're going to have to make sure everything is dry before we start applying anything else. So I might put in a new triangle. In this case, I didn't. Actually, it looks like in this case, I realized I need to seal off that sectional matrix a little bit better. So I'm putting a wedge in there right now just to seal it off. And so she's handed that to me, and I'm going to hand the cotton forceps back in just a second. And it's going in place. I'm checking it. Okay, great. She takes the instrument, and now I'm able to put a cotton roll up in the upper cheek. She has the cotton rolls ready for me to put them down underneath the tongue. She has them sitting there in case I need a few more. I didn't need them, so she takes back the cotton forceps. Now I'm going to dry off the tooth. Now that everything is dry, the tooth and all the surrounding tissues, now she can hand me the first material, which is our desensitizer. We use this green brush. So sometimes we just say green brush, and that just means hand me the green brush with the desensitizer on there. I paint it inside the tooth for a few seconds. She's dropping off the bonding agent with that dark bottle there in the background. She has that next liquid ready. I hand back the brush, I air thin it. She now hands me the purple brush, which has the bonding agent on it. I now paint that up inside the tooth, make sure it gets in all the walls. She has a curing light ready to go, and I'm just continuing to paint that material in there. I'm going to air thin it, and then she's ready to go right away. We can look at this handoff, go right straight, pick it up and go right into the mouth, and I'm curing. Next, she has going to hand me the flowable composite. And look at that handoff, right from light to material. Next, she's going to hand me the more packable or the thicker material. Some people call it a hybrid composite. And I layer that on top of the flowable. And now that I have both of those types of composites in, she's going to hand me a plugger. And this plugger is going to help push that filler material right into the right spot. And look at the handoff. You could just kind of watch that handoff. I go from instrument. She's got the curing light ready. Oh, I just made a call for a different instrument. I need a cord placer in addition to just the packer. So I'm using the packer, the plugger. Now I'm going to use a cord placer. Some people call it a plastic instrument. And now she's ready to go with the curing light. And watch the handoff from instrument to light. She just picks up the instrument, hands the light, and I go right in. And the curing light tip is also twisted in the right spot, so the light's going to be shining right onto the tooth. And again, look at the handoff, ready to go again from light to composite. I'm putting in another increment, another layer of this composite, and she's got the plugger ready to go. Look at that handoff. It's very nice and very smooth. Packing it into place. Called for that instrument again for the cord placer in this case. Look at the instrument transfer. She's able to pick it up and drop it off right away. And again with the light. Just kind of the same repeat. We're going to do probably 2, 3, maybe 4 increments per tooth when we're doing a buildup or even a filling for that matter. And so I'm curing it. And I'm going to take a look just to see if I need one more layer. Yep, I do. So I put in one more layer. Again, same kind of rhythm. Composite, plugger, put it in place. If I need the other instrument to reshape it, that'd be great, and then go right to the curing light. So kind of get used to that kind of rhythm of putting in the composite, packing it and shaping it into place, and then curing it, and then put the next layer in, and then the next layer, and that's how that works. So again, we'll just watch this one last handoff, and that will complete the buildup on this tooth. Okay, that's it. I said that's all we need, so she took the composite away, and now she's standing ready with the cotton forceps, so I can take out the cotton. Out comes the cotton, and then the matrix band is going to come off next. And then at this point, we'll be ready to move on to the next step, which is the actual prepping of the teeth for the crown. Okay, so this part of the video is now going to be shaping the tooth for the crown prep. It's going to be very similar to what we did at the beginning when we were removing the initial filling and decay that was there. And now we're going to be actually just reshaping the tooth. So I'm going with the high-speed handpiece. It's going to be shooting out air and water. And so the assistant's going to be in there with the suction, of course, catching the suction, but also standing ready with the air-water tip. So when I need to have the mirror cleaned off, she's ready to dry that off and keep the field clean and clear and able for me to see what's going on when I'm in there. And so it's just there'll be several minutes of this, which I'm going to actually shorten this video. You don't need to see this entire thing play out because it's pretty much not much different than what you're seeing right now. But again, it's just trying to keep the field nice and clean, allowing the doctor to get in there to shape the tooth or do whatever needs to be done. All right, so the next one we're going to see is going to be actually placing of the retraction cord. Okay, so now we're going to place the retraction cord. If you notice, the assistant has a retraction cord spool, pulls out a piece about maybe an inch or inch and a half long, it depends on the size of the tooth, clips it off, and now is going to be kind of shaping it into a loop. I've got the tissue dried off. The assistant's now going to place that cord kind of around the tooth, kind of lasso the tooth. The dentist will say whether they want the ends of the retraction cord to either end on the buccal side or the lingual side, and that way the assistant can kind of orient it where it needs to go. And at this point, the doctor is just going to be pressing that cord into place. There's not a whole lot really for the assistant to do other than probably making sure the next step is going to be ready. And that's going to be either taking a digital impression or scan of the tooth, or take an actual silicone impression with the PBS material. So at this point, while the doctor is placing the cord, the assistant's getting ready for the next step, which is going to be the impression. Now, whenever we place a cord, there's going to be probably a little bit of excess left over. So the assistant's going to hand the scissors and clip off, the doctor's going to clip off the excess. And then when that little piece comes off, the assistant's going to, catch that little string piece from going down the throat. Dentist will then go ahead and place the rest of that cord, kind of tuck in those little remaining pieces and making sure that tissue is out of the way. And when that is completed and everything looks great, then we're ready to move on to the actual impression stage of the appointment.